Hi everyone, I'm Georgie Dennis,
And I'm Nicolò Pescetelli.
and we're the co-founders of SURU together. At the weekend, we ran an experiment to see if a group of people play chess better than a player by themselves.
And this is what happened.
Hi guys. Welcome to
Hello.
SURU Plays Chess. Do you want to quickly introduce yourselves?
I'm Evan, aka Chessmaster Flex. Here to use the wisdom of Suru and the crowds to put a whooping on my mortal chess enemy, but good real friend Bharat.
Hi, my name is Bharat, and I don't know why my name is Bharat too. There's no different version. Yeah, I'm really happy to be here to play chess against Evan, who I play with almost every day. So I'm going to kick his ass again. I've been on a losing streak. You might have to bleep out the word ass.
So how long have you been playing chess?
I think like consistently maybe like 3.5 years, 4 years, 2017. So
Yeah. How about you, Evan?
I mean, I guess maybe about 3 years ago. I mean, Bharat, are you putting the timeline like when we started playing?
I didn't really play before that, like so.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, so I probably had a 2-year period of playing, periods of playing for like several games a day for about 2 years on and off, and then it's been about a year or two since I've like properly played. So I'm a little rusty.
You're gonna be rusty. Don't worry, you're gonna have like a lot of advice.
Exactly.
Very skilled players.
Exactly.
Do you know what's your Elo score on average?
No, I don't know what an Elo score is. No idea.
Okay, don't worry.
Wait. Is it? I see.
Why is he laughing? Why is he laughing?
These are the set of people that you got to play chess. People who don't know what the scores are.
Well, I see that. I can see that it's. I'm looking on like the right side of the screen, and it says, my highest score of some sort is 1,129.
So there are two versions. So I think the version that I most often play, which is the Blitz, which is like the 5-minute one. There my ELO score is around 1040. My highest was on October 1st was 1226. The other version which we're going to be playing today, which is like the 10-minute one, my ELO score is 1160.
Okay. I think I go up and down. My range is between 800 and maybe 1,100.
How do I feel about this big game? I feel confident, but I don't want to be losing in front of 20 strangers. I need to come out being the victor in front of strangers. So I'm a little tense about that part, but otherwise not so much.
How about you, Evan? What do you feel confidence?
I feel super confident. Yeah, absolutely.
Obviously, if you lose, you can just blame the crowd. Like,
I have an out here. No, I mean, I think like at baseline, I'm just a kind of more refined thinker than Bharat. I think I have a level of mental dexterity that really facilitates good chess play. I think the thing that will be interesting is kind of I think there is a lot of historical, a lot of the gameplay that Bharat and I have like come from like living together, sitting at the same table, playing across from each other, and really like there is a lot of psychological like back and forth, just trying to like get a sense for how confident someone may be after a series of moves. So I think it'll be interesting to not necessarily have that sort of like direct kind of experience of like how he's reacting to every single move. And and specifically there's the patented Sharma shuffle where he looks very confident, like he is about to make a move, and he approaches the board with a supreme level of confidence, and then immediately goes back, and that's his patented move to try and suss out how I'm reacting to his his confidence. So yeah, I mean, as I'm kind of thinking about this, I think one of the main weaknesses I mean from my experience of a chess game is, you kind of get very you get tunnel vision, you get very pigeonholed. You're only really thinking about like the strategy that you have in your head, and kind of you've mapped out the next couple of moves and you've predicted how the other person is going to respond. And the weakness of that is that you're missing, 3 different other moves that the person can make, and you're missing it because you're like kind of selectively focusing on your strategy. And so I think that it'll be interesting to see if, like, by pooling the kind of opinions of many different people who have probably their own different, selective kind of frames or biases, you may get like a more collectively informed. I think honestly, my guess is that it helps more on the defensive end and maybe less on the offensive end. That would be kind of my guess.
What my thoughts are, at least at the level that we are at,
elite.
The level we are at, I think games are won and lost on blunders, and I think the crowd can kind of like see those. I don't know if they can all sort of align on a single strategy to win,
Right.
but they will definitely catch blunders that you might make. That's something that will help with.
I think time is going to be the main thing. I to Bharat's point, I see it being very difficult to find consensus in a 10-minute cumulative time frame.
So how did it work? About 25 people joined our platform, and they could see the live stream of the match. They could also use a chat to discuss strategy and tactics. And finally, they could suggest specific moves. Then everybody could upvote or downvote. And the move with the most votes was then given to Evan to play.
Hey, we have our first person joining.
I think we're good to get started. Nice. So now that that's done, it means Bharat, you can leave. And
Any last words, Bharat,
Yeah.
before we collectively destroy you?
I mean, be ready to be amazed, I guess. I hope so. Cool.
Cool.
I'll see you later.
Bye. All right. Okay, so we're going to pause here and just explain what happened in the first game. So we played 2 games of chess, and it's fair to say that the second game worked a lot better than the first one.
A little bit.
Yeah. So some of the things that played out in that first game, which you won't see in this video, is that it was at first really difficult for the crowd of people to communicate between each other what they meant by certain chess moves, and for then that to go to Evan. And so at the end of the game, there was a couple of minutes where everyone online sort of like self-mobilized to decide on what their naming convention would be for different like moves when he's playing chess. Someone was really helpful, like Googled it, found it online, put it in the chat. Like if someone puts N that they mean the knights, that kind of stuff.
And as was predicted by Evan, time was the main limitation. So reaching on each move a quick agreement, that was what limited the crowd.
And the third thing that happened as well is that the first time we played it, like previous suggestions would stay on the platform. And so it got really difficult to understand like what the crowd thought would be the next best move. So what we did was every time Evan had a move, people could make suggestions, vote for what they think was the best one. And then we cleaned that so that the next move had like a fresh space for people to suggest to Evan. So this is the result. And the next part of this video would show you exactly how it all happened.
So let's watch.
I don't know. I'm actually feeling pretty good about where our team's at. So let's just start. I mean, we have time here. We have 53 seconds. So let's make a vote on the first move.
Okay, so they're coming in. Suggestions are coming in, guys. If you vote, so we know which one's best.
So, but yeah, remember always that there is always like a 5 to 6 seconds delay.
Yep, it's fine.
Okay, suggestions are coming in. We have a few ties. And knight to f3 seems to be winning. Let's give it a few seconds more. Yes, clearly winning. And you can go with knight to f3.
Sweet.
And these are textbook openings.
So someone suggested castling.
Yes.
Okay.
It's definitely winning. Yep.
Oh, castle early.
Okay, so now in the next segment, notice one thing. Evan suggests to the crowd a move, but then the crowd decides to do something else. Let's see if you notice why the move that Evan suggested was not the right one.
Okay, so guys, I think because of the crowd, we've set ourselves up well here. If we move this knight to g5, we're setting ourselves up somewhat for a situation where we can squeeze the king, but now this bishop is here, so I don't know.
There are a lot of suggestions coming in. I think this is an interesting move.
Yeah, lots of different opinions, I think,
Yeah.
on what should happen.
So far is n to c3. So I guess it's the knight to c3. But
Okay.
seconds, there is still some debate.
I like that. I think that's a good move.
He has one down vote, so perhaps somebody with more experience doesn't like it, but it seems to be winning anyway.
I'm gonna jump on it. Yeah.
Wait.
No, there's been like a switch. So now it's rook in e1.
Okay. I moved too quickly.
So maybe some of you noticed that the position that Evan was suggesting for the knight was under attack by both the bishop and the queen. So it was a terrible move, and his knight would have been captured immediately.
How does this game feel, Evan?
Much better. Yeah. This seems solid.
There's one mushroom, or mushroom one is good.
Someone says it's a trap.
Oh, okay.
It is a trap. I can tell it is a trap of some degree, but
The winning now, it's knight on e2. Seems to be winning, yeah.
okay. Knight on e2. That's a good move. I like that.
Okay.
Whoever said it's a trap, I think great feedback. Good call.
But yes, I think the crowd is giving some decent info. Anyone's game at this point. Anyone's game. Quite tense, huh? But no, the crowd was quite bad last time. They gave bad advice, so.
Queen on g4 would threaten the queen would be gone basically. If he took my queen, his queen would be gone as well. But
Yeah, they are probably suggesting an exchange of queens. So it's 6 against 1, voting for queen taking on g4. Yeah, it seems getting traction. 8 against 1. Take.
Let's do it. We did it. Ah! Yeah. All right. Pawn to take out his queen.
Suggestions are coming in.
Dude, crowd. I mean, on this you can get a consensus. Like, my queen is there for taking this dude quickly.
We have to. There's no other move.
Yeah.
So the next interesting point in the game that we'd like to share with you is what happened when the crowd suggested that Evan move a rook. This was pretty much a low point in the communication between the crowd and the player, because yeah, Evan could move a rook, but actually they didn't tell him which one to move, the left or the right. And so this is kind of like the minute of chaos that ensued.
So rook to c3 is now winning.
Should we do it?
I would say yes.
Yeah,
The
go.
rook
Rook
to,
to
I can't move the rook to c3. Yeah, rook. It's either c1 or e3.
Maybe it's meant to be
Or
C1.
e3.
No. Rook to c3.
Someone says it's a mistake.
It's a typo, but please correct it. The time is running out. Yeah.
c1. Right. Which one? The one on the left or the one on the right?
Oh, good question. Guys, if you can say in the chat, maybe directly.
On the right.
On the
No.
right.
Daniel, this move's on you. Oh no. Okay. All good. We still have 3 minutes.
Barata is 15.
And now the end game.
So this was a 20-minute game of chess, and for a lot of it, the team that was supporting Evan online was dominating the middle of the board. But as you can imagine, it was taking a really long time for people to coordinate. And so by the end of it, the team was running out of time, and this is what happened in the last couple of minutes.
Okay.
Interesting move. All right. We don't have much time, so let's make some power moves here. All right, we have 29 seconds. Let's get moving.
This was a great game.
Yeah.
What was going on in my mind? The first game, I think I knew very soon that I was going to win on time. Yeah, so I was like, not all bothered. The second game was tighter. I think definitely if they had more time, it was more threatening. That's my expert analysis of the game.
I think one of the better moments was, I didn't even see this in the chat, but whoever said it's a trap, I think you were setting us up for a trap at one point that I was totally not aware of, and I was like, we were about to make a move, and I think someone came in, clarified.
Yeah, and you could have taken my queen.
But you could have
moved my queen.
But you could have just moved your bishop, I think, in front of your queen. I think we had
No,
seen
there was one point. I went through the analysis of the game, and I was terrified that I was terrified because I knew I needed a castle, but I actually castled at the wrong time. I made like a few bad moves. I have a recording of myself saying all this, so I'll share it with you guys. But
yeah, no, I mean, I do think that we benefited several times from the crowd being able to call out that there was a defensive issue. Mm-hmm. I think that was certainly very clear. I think the time, obviously, I think as several people have pointed out, is the main constraint. Because it would have been interesting to see. I started thinking near the end, I didn't know what strategy, if any, there was to actually attack at some point. It seemed like most of our strategy was like covering our ass. And so, which I mean is obviously important. But yeah, man, that first game, that queen move, I was so anti doing that, but it was, for some reason, I think it was voted high in strategy, that I kind of normally go in with. But I can certainly say that, like, observing my own process, I was honestly starting to think a lot less about the game, really, or like once I kind of understood the flow of like other people are kind of consulting, making decisions, I started to trust that group more. And yeah, it was fascinating. I honestly do think that if we had more time, we would have won.
Yeah. Jump in performance once people got like more organized was insane, right? So can you imagine even a little bit more organization on top of that?
I mean, the second game ending was hard. Yeah, definitely, for sure. The second game ending was hard.
I think just in response to that, something that I think seems pretty interesting is that there might be two different decisions being made at any point in time. One is, what is our immediate next move based off what is happening? And two is like, what are the more long-term strategic ways to frame the set of experiences that are happening?
Yeah.
Because in chess, I think there's a mix of you're responding to the opponent's moves and the new situation created by that, while also needing to hold in mind that there are other just like considerations, like you can be making all these moves on one side of the board, but like you need to recognize that your king is wide open. I mean, by the time you had those two rooks just like lined up, somebody said in the chat, your king is exposed. And I look to the right of my board and I'm like, oh shit. Like, we're screwed.
Yeah.
No, I was just commenting on that there were a couple of episodes where the first move that was suggested and was like gaining traction, at some point like it stopped and it was like overtaken by another one.
Yeah.
And it happened in a couple of spots. I think it would be interesting for me like to go back and check, which of the two actually was better. In terms of like we can do that from the analysis very easily.
I think what I anticipate is playing out there is like people like put the immediate like obvious move, like obvious good move, but maybe it's not the best. And then after like a couple of seconds, someone's put in like something that's less like clear, but probably better. And so what we're seeing is maybe with like extra time, more people would be like, that's not the obvious one, but it definitely is better for this game.
There is one move that you do like by instinct.
Exactly. And I think that's
reaction.
And that's what we showed. And then because there wasn't enough time for people to really deliberate of like, okay, like is the first thing that we put down best? I don't know if it really played out whether in that like list of like 6 suggestions, are they voting for the one that's the most obvious but still good, or like the best for that actual move and the match as a whole?
This reminds me of a book, Nicola, I'm sure you've read, Super Forecasting. Of course.
For people that don't know, that are listening to this, it's a big grant that was put out for like sort of competitors among like universities and private sector to really like forecast geopolitical events. And there is like the team by Philip Tetlock that was blew everyone else out of the water.
Yeah, and part of, I remember like the explanation, or I forget what the terminology was that you'll certainly know, but it was like there was like an important distinction made in forecasting and like predicting what was going to happen. That was like on one, I mean, within the tournament, it was like you're forecasting what you think the result is, but the crucial part is that you're also at the same time saying, what is the probability for which I believe that this event is going to happen? Like, how strongly do I believe that this is going to happen? It's like a something score, Breyer score.
Yeah. But that's the crucial thing in forecasting, right? It's not just what outcome is going to come up. It's like really like guessing the probability. Like saying it's going to rain with 51% chance, or like it's going to rain with 100% chance. It's extremely, it's very different in terms of like who is a better weatherman in making those predictions, right?
Totally. And applying it to this situation, I remember like distinctly feeling like, is somebody suggesting a move that is like maybe less probability focused and more like how strongly do they believe in this move? So maybe instead of a thumb up or a thumb down, it's like a scale of 1 to 10. How strongly do you feel this? I don't know if that's scalable or anything, but I'm just like, what I was thinking is like, how strongly does this person believe
Yeah.
that moving the bishop to e5 is the best move?
Yeah. That's a good point.
I spend a good 1 or 2 hours every day. It's surprising I don't get any better though. Like it's like, isn't that a 10,000 hour rule? Like I should be getting better, dude. Like
1 or 2 hours a day.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Cool.
Cool. All right. Well, awesome
Thanks,
stuff.
Bruce.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You have to stop.
Until next
the-
time.
Thank you so much. I'm going to stop the live stream now. So thank you everyone who watched, who participated, who is gonna see this, 10 years from now. We had fun.
Ciao.
One of a kind. Bye.
Bye. So let's do this. I hope this is a good move. Oh damn. Okay, no. Dude. Okay, I'm gonna wait. Let's notice something. Oh god. Queen and king in a line. This is bad. I need to figure out what to do. God, he's just not giving me any space to move things. Like this knight can't go anywhere.